Metalheads, and welcome to episode 60 of the Harsh Vocals Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Corbett, and with me is my good friend, Christian Renner. How are you doing today, man?
Pretty good. We got some pretty good albums to talk about.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty fantastic 2 weeks.
Yeah, very artistic. Very artistic.
Yeah, to say the least. Well, I'm finally feeling better. No longer sick. I mean, it only took me 2 months to get over it, but I'm very glad it's gone. But like I was telling you before the show, all that coughing, I tore a rib muscle, so I'm on painkillers. Might be a little bit different show just because of that.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah. Don't recommend it. It's not pleasant at all. But what I would recommend is some of this fantastic music. So let's go ahead and dive into talking about our favorite albums of the past 2 weeks. And you're up first, Christian.
All righty. All right, let me start out with the band Membrance. The album is called Risa Marciano. I'm going to guess that's it. What do you think? Risa Marciano?
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. We have death metal from Venice, Italy, their fourth album from extreme metal music. The track that I picked is Caronte. And while researching this band, it seems that this album is very special. I mean, like very special. Like Galabot on our last episode, with mining as a subject, Membrance builds the entire album around the culture and history of Venice, Italy. They even go so far as to sing in a Venetian dialect on this album. This is all about Venice. Hey, more power to you. And more bands doing this. We're going to talk about another one. My next pick does the exact same thing. I'm here for it. Like, let's get away from the Satan stuff for everyone.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with Satan, but it is nice when bands do something refreshing and pick a topic that is off the beaten path. I mean, it would be kind of boring if every single band put out an album that was in the same topic.
Yep. And I mean, while at its core, this is classic Swedish-inspired death metal, but these guys blend in moments of groove as well as a bit of thrash on occasion, all with this black metal style atmosphere, which keeps it from sounding like a simple copy. And my final thought on this one, this album turns Venice's history and folklore into a surprisingly memorable slab of old school Swedish death metal that stands out as much for its identity and atmosphere as for its kick-ass riffs.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love this album too. I mean, I listened to it 3 times. I think it is very good at doing the death metal and thrash metal stuff. The only thing it does that I don't particularly love is the clean vocals. They're very like throaty, almost like Eddie Vedder with an Italian accent. And it's too much for me. But aside from that, everything about this I love. Like, I was headbanging along to so many songs. There's just some songs where the cleans are way more prominent, and that's the only thing that would have kept it as being a pick for me. And you did pick one of the songs that has the cleans, so people will hear exactly what I'm talking about. But overall, though, it's a fantastic album. And if your tolerance for cleans is higher than mine, you're probably going to love it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I actually enjoyed the cleans on this one. So, they didn't bother me at all.
That's fair. I mean, we spent all last episode talking about our preferences for cleans. So if you want to find out more about that, go listen to that episode. All right, well, let's go and play the track. Again, this is Membrance off of Risa Marciana, and the track that Christian chose is Caronte.
Escuela, me doy mi corta y
And that one there was all about that riff, that main riff, and that is excellent.
Well, the cleans don't come in until you're like 4 minutes into the song. So 4 minutes of the song, I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. And then I'm like, oh, no. But I mean, that's just a personal thing. I can see it
if you have an aversion.
It's just my aversion to it. But did you look up what Caronte means?
I did not.
Caronte actually means Charon, the mythological ferryman of the underworld. So they're talking about Italian ferries, like the pontoons that go, but
as you do,
in the underworld. So that seems like it fits their theme. Very cool. Nice.
So what's your first pick?
All right, well, moving on to my first pick. That's the band Azaghal, and that's Azaghal. They put out an album called Necrohelios, and that's with a K, so Nekrohelios. It's black metal from Finland, their 14th album since 1988 on Immortal Frost Productions.
That's crazy.
How have these guys put out 14 albums and I've never heard them until this one?
Really? You'd never heard of them?
No, I never heard them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've never really, to be honest with you, this is their best album. I think 14 albums in, and they actually sound re-energized here. Like, this is solid. I was a big fan of this one.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it, too. I mean, the riffs are catchy. The vocal delivery is very vicious. There's a lot of atmosphere building in all the songs. Mm-hmm. It feels very old school, but also has that modern production, which just kind of makes it pop in my mind.
Yep.
I love this. I mean, this is right in my wheelhouse for what I look for in straightforward black metal. And like I said, my first exposure to these guys, probably a good jumping on point from what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, their other albums aren't terrible, but it's definitely just plain and simple. It's just not as good as this one. My final thought on this is a vicious reminder that traditional Finnish black metal remains most powerful when it combines icy atmosphere, heavy-ass riffs, and songwriting sharp enough to leave scars.
I love your final thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go and play the track. Again, this is Azaghal off of Necrohelios, and the track that I chose is Haava. fun to say. Haava, Haava. I don't know what it means. I should have looked it up. Oh, well. Azaghal, though, I did look that up. That is one of the Dwarven kings in Lord of the Rings. So it must be Lord of the Rings inspired thematically. I can kind of see that with the cover art. It fits.
Yeah.
But I love this. I mean, hopefully you guys like that song and you'll check out the full album because there are better songs than that one. They're just longer, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, check out some of their other stuff. Your mileage may vary. Who knows? You might think their other stuff is way better. Who knows? But
I'll have to go back and listen to it because I really enjoyed this one. What do you got next?
Next for me is Malebeste or Malebeste. It's Malebeste. And they're French, so I'm going to butcher this to no end.
Do you want me to do it?
Well, if you want to, because I can't say that track name, Le Puits d'Enfer, maybe?
Le Puits d'Enfer.
And then the album name, Monastereau.
Yeah. That's it.
Monastereau.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Monastereau.
All right, we have black metal from Angoulême, France, their debut on Antique Records. Like we said, the track that I picked is Le Puits d'Enfer. Another band that is doing things differently, and like I said, hopefully this is a trend. Like Galabot and Membrance, Malebeste take all their lyrical imagery from folklore and legends of Western France's Caronte and Vendée regions. This really gives the album a strong identity and makes it that much more memorable. Mm-hmm. You just have to love when a band does this, just because it'll make you think about it while you're not listening to the album, which is always a good thing. The album art is also really worthy of note, as it just seems to fit perfectly after hearing the album as a whole. This level of quality and care taken on this whole package is incredibly professional, and I have to keep reminding myself that this is a debut, and none of these guys in this band have any other experience in any other bands, according to Metallum. Outside of the drummer, I got to say, he was previously in a band named Hemlock, but that's it. None of these guys have any listed experience on Metallum at all. For this album to be this good is a testament to their abilities, and holy shit, I'm here for it. My final thought on this album: this is an incredibly self-assured debut that leans into French folklore mixed with melodic black metal ferocity and memorable atmosphere into a record that feels far more mature than a band's debut has any right to be.
Yeah, I'd agree with all that. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, how they came up with an album this good as a debut is just shocking.
And I did look up what Le Puits d'Enfer means, and it actually translates to Hell's Well. Which is a pretty well-known folklore about a sinkhole that leads to hell. I'm not sure if that's exactly the story that the song's based on, because I don't speak French, but it fits pretty well, if that's what it is. I love that not only were there some incredible melodies throughout this album, there's a lot of punk rock influence in a lot of the songs, too. Yeah, tons of riffage that just makes you have fun and headbang along, but also kind of a always present dark atmosphere that I really appreciated. I thought it was just a fantastic album from beginning to end, and it would have been a pick for me if you hadn't taken it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was great all the way through.
Yeah, me too. All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Malebeste off of Monastereau, and the track is Le Puits d'Enfer, which translates to Hell's Well. Hope you enjoy it.
Hell's Well. That just sounds mean.
It really does.
What?
That's a great song, too. Good pick.
Yeah.
All right, well, keeping the black metal train rolling. Next up is my pick, and that is Serpent Lord, The Once Forgotten Ways of Old. This is pagan black metal from Washington State, the debut album, but the band has existed since 2003 in some capacity. And this is actually the solo project of Jake Superchi, who you may be familiar with from Uwada and a variety of other Pacific Northwest black metal projects. Obviously, Uwada was the band that he broke through with his brother. They're really well known, especially in the U.S., in the black metal community. But this was his very first project, and I'm assuming what's happened is now that Uwada is taking a step back from touring, I don't know if you've seen that announcement, but
yeah,
I feel like they've been on the road nonstop for like 6 years. Them and Bewitcher. They're always touring, always somewhere.
Yeah.
So I can understand them wanting to take a break. But I feel like what happened is because they're taking that break, it gave him an opportunity to go back and focus on his origins, where he started with this pagan black metal stuff and create this album. And while there is some encroaching Uwada influence based on like what you heard in like previous Serpent Lord EP releases and things, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, it just makes it sound more polished. It makes it sound more modern. It's still very much at its core classic pagan black metal with lots of melody, some really interesting like song structures, especially in the one I'm going to play. There's this weird like popping thing that happens at the beginning of the song, which I thought was bizarre and kind of unique. But once it gets into the music, it's all just very captivating and massive sounding. I know you didn't love the vocal production on this. It sounds
the vocals
kind of
I
hollow.
wasn't a big fan of.
But for me, it reminds me of that like classic black metal sound, and also kind of Uwada's first album, the way the vocals sounded on that. So I actually really like the vocals, but they may not be for everybody. Our tolerances.
I mean, do you see that apparently these songs are 20 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how crazy is that they're 20 years old, but they sound pretty damn modern.
Super talented. I mean, he always has been.
Yeah, holy shit.
And he's just gotten so much experience in those 20 years writing with Uwada and other bands and touring. It's not really that surprising that he went back and found his old songs and improved them and made them more modern sounding. I'm glad he did. I love this album.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. And my final thought, outside of the vocals, of course, a long-buried pagan black metal album finally sees daylight with awesome melodies, atmosphere that pulls you in, and enough conviction to make the 20-year wait completely worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you can get past the vocals, which as I've gone back, they bother me less and less each time.
I mean, if you're a black metal fan, like bad vocals shouldn't really bother you that much. Like, you could listen to any Dark Throne album and the vocals are worse than this.
Well, I mean, every so often, even Danny Filth, like if it's the wrong day, Danny Filth's vocals bug the shit out of me.
I mean, everybody's tolerance is different. Like, I may listen to the Membrance album 2 days from now and be like, oh, well, this isn't that bad. But, listen to it a week later and be like, holy shit, this is not for me.
Yep.
So, I mean, tolerance may change depending on your mood and what's going on, whether you're active listening or passive listening. I mean, there's a lot of things that can affect it. But I think generally, if you like extreme metal, these vocals are not going to bother you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Serpent Lord off of the Once Forgotten Ways of Old, which that's a cool title, especially considering the history of this album. And the track that I chose is A Pagan's Spell.
That's actually one of my favorite songs on the album, too.
I really like it, especially that weird popping thing that he does in the beginning. I don't even know what instrument that is, but it makes me feel like, or it reminds me of like those Japanese water things, like where the water drips down and the bamboo sprout like drips water into the next thing and then pops back up. It sounds kind of like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Definitely something different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my final one of this episode is the band Abandon Agony, the album Endbringer. Look at that. I crushed it on that pronounce.
Every once in a while you get
I know
one.
how to do some English, man. I can do some English. We have Mellodeath from Trollhättan, Sweden. This is their debut, and they are unsigned. The track that I picked is My Redemption. And when you hear that, oh, yeah, you'll see why. And I've written down here, wow, just wow. Again, this is a fucking debut. Man, the talent level in heavy metal is just staggering right now. I mean, this is all the best parts of classic Mellodeath sound from earlier In Flames or Dark Tranquillity, but with the addition of modern Mellodeath touches throughout.
Mm-hmm.
They're not reinventing Mellodeath here, but they are certainly taking the genre as a whole and announcing their arrival like a solid punch to the face. Balance is the key word here, and for someone with OCD, like I have, this was really satisfying. The way the leads absolutely crush, but crush comes from the base of killer riffing all over this thing. There's just riff after riff and just perfectly made with the leads coming in. Oh my God, this album, I probably listened to this album 30 times.
I think I did too. This album is all about the guitar work. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. The only negative I have for this, and it's a minor complaint, is that half this album appeared on their 2024 EP entitled Dark Matter. That being said, all of this is new to me, so I'm completely good with it. Just something to note if you're wondering. Half this album is old material, but it's probably going to be most people's first exposure to this band, so I'm completely cool with it. My final thought: Endbringer is filled to the breaking point with incredibly sharp songwriting, massive guitar work, and a fantastic blend of melody and aggression, which makes it one of the most promising debuts to come out of the Gothenburg scene in quite some time.
Not only that, I think it's one of the strongest Mellodeath albums we've gotten this year, period.
I think so, too.
I love this album, too. I've listened to it at least 30 times as well. If it hadn't been a pick for you, it would have been a pick for me. One thing I learned is that everybody in the band, aside from the bassist, is actually in a power metal band as well called Memoria, which released their self-titled debut back in 2022. So I think it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of overlap like in guitar work between power metal and Mellodeath, because there are just some beautiful soaring lead guitars throughout this thing that are reminiscent of power metal. And I've never had a problem with power metal's guitar work. It's always the vocals that I don't like. So you put death metal vocals with power metal guitars, sign me the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up.
And yeah, that's exactly what I got out of this too, is it seriously felt like traditional and power metal style guitar playing in this all the way through. So yeah, it just made me like it even more.
Yeah. The only one thing about this album, I know you mentioned the songs, half of them coming from their EP. For me, it's the album artwork, because when you look at it, it just screams AI. It's very hard to determine whether it is AI or not. I went and looked, and they did have an artist, Robin Lejeune, who's actually a pretty famous cover artist. So I'm assuming this was not AI, but damn if it doesn't look like it's close. So
It did. I was kind of surprised by that too.
Yeah, I can't say for sure whether or not this is AI, but we've talked about that on many shows as well. It's like we're getting closer and closer to the point where it's hard to tell, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. But artwork aside, absolutely fucking killer album. I love this. So we're going to play a track. Hopefully you guys will love it as well. Again, Abandon Agony off of Endbringer, and the track the Christian chose is My Redemption. Those riffs, man.
Yeah, I absolutely love that song.
I can't believe these guys are unsigned. It's only going to be a matter of time before they find a label if they want one, though.
I can't believe this is a debut.
Yeah, that too. I mean, well, knowing what I know now that they were previously a power metal band, it's not that surprising because they've already spent some time
Now working on
building
shit.
stuff. But
to go from power metal to a Melodeath album, yeah, that takes some guts there, man.
more bands should make that transition.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to hear a death metal album from Avantasia.
Yeah,
That'd be
as
awesome.
long as they don't have any cleans. All right. Well, moving on to my last pick for the episode. This is the band Manzvara. They released an album called Sable Odes to Nihility. Nihility, however you want to pronounce it. This is death and black metal from Krakow, Poland, their debut LP. They've been together since
another debut.
They've been together since 2025 on Gods of War Productions, and that's Gods with a Z. I love this album. It is atmospheric and dissonant with tons of tremolo picking, super aggressive, incredibly dark atmosphere and subject matter. Everything feels like it's trying to kill you, and in the best way. I couldn't get enough of this. I heard this album at least 30 times as well, kept going back to it over and over again. I do feel like towards the end of the album, some of the songs do become a little bit samey, but on repeat listens, it doesn't bother you as much.
Yeah.
My initial thought was that, I guess I should say. But if you like black and death metal, this is one of the strongest releases of the year as well in that genre. I think it's fantastic. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked to find out this was a debut, and easily one of the best I've seen that blend that death metal brutality with that black metal atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Again, almost perfect balance, which I greatly appreciate. Yeah, this is just debut after debut. How is this happening, man? And a perfect example of why we do this, because the average listener with all these debuts or whatever, that you're not going to find out about this.
No, they're not going to discover these kind of bands.
There's no radio play. There's no...
There's no resources really for discovering these bands unless you're listening to podcasts like ours or just combing all of the release sites like we do. You have to be hungry for new music to find obscure bands like this. And I'm glad we do this. I'm glad every single episode we discover at least one brand new band that's put out something just amazing. So sometimes even more.
I can see some great things coming from this band.
They're only going to get better, right? That little bit of sameness that I mentioned, that's going to go away on the next album. And I mean, this is incredibly tight songwriting for a debut. It's only going to get better. So I'm definitely looking forward to what these guys do next. All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Manzvara off of Sable Odes to Nihility. And the track that I chose is Obsidianize. I love that song title too, Obsidian Eyes. Like, I picked it because it was one of the shorter tracks, but it's also one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's just a killer album all the way through. Hope you guys liked it, and please check out the full thing. Support these guys if you can.
Yeah, this whole episode's been pretty damn solid, man.
I agree. It's a great playlist.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move into our honorable mentions.
All righty. My list is not as long as it usually is.
It's only 10,
but I
25.
do have some. Well, let's start out with the band Sarcasm.
Fair.
We have Sarcasm, the album Life Force Omnibound. We have Black and Death Metal from Uppsala, Sweden. This is their 6th album on Hammerheart Records. And if you like Thulkandra, Gates of Ishtar, or the obligatory dissection reference, you're gonna dig Sarcasm.
I liked most of it. I think it was a lot more samey than some of the other stuff we talked about. That's the only reason it ended up as an honorable mention.
Yep. Then we have As the Sun Falls, Songs from the Veil. We have Melodeath from Zurich, Switzerland. They're 3rd on Theogonia Records. And if you like Wolfheart, Omnium Gatherum, or In Mourning, you're gonna dig this band. They're a bit more slower Melodeath.
It's too slow for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost on the verge of being Death Doom. It's right there. So if your tolerance for Death Doom's pretty low, this may not work for you. Then we have Misanthrope, Embracement. We have Progressive Melodeath from Angers, France. This is their 13th album on Holy Records. And if you like Rotting Christ, Moonspell, Flesh God Apocalypse, or even the band Hollenthon, you're gonna find something to like here. Man, I haven't thought of Hollenthon in a long time.
It's a really good album, though. I like that Misanthrope album. It's probably 2 songs too long.
Yeah, I think so,
just a little bit bloated because there's too much going on, but the core of it is really good.
Yeah, I mean, and as soon as I heard it, my first thought was Hollenthon. It was bizarre because I had not thought about that band in quite a while. Then we have Leather Witch, the album First Spell. We have heavy/traditional metal from Katowice, Poland. This is their debut, or her debut, on Listenable Records. If you like Burning Witches, White Skull, or Chastain, you're going to find something to like here. Then we have Eternal Evil, Forever Feared. We have black/thrash metal from Stockholm, Sweden. They're 3rd on Listenable Records as well. And if you're a fan of Sodom, Bathory, or Toxic Holocaust, this is what you're going to find with Eternal Evil. Then we have Opera 9, Beneficium.
Beneficium.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. We have Symphonic Black from Biella, Italy. They're 10th on Edge Circle Productions.
I actually really like the Opera 9 album. The cleans got to me in places, but there was a lot more to like than not like in there. It's like 80% great.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the only thing that I disliked about it was when the cleans came in, they slowed way down. And they just did that over and over again, and it just started to feel like a pattern.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We don't like formulas.
Yeah. Then finally, we have Cheops, Bitter Story for Humanity. We have heavy metal from Rijeka, Croatia. I'm going to guess that's right. This is their 4th album on No Cut Entertainment. And this here's going to be pretty fucking classic. If you're a fan of Deep Purple, Angel Witch, or the Scorpions, you're going to find something to like with Cheops.
Interesting.
And that's all of my honorable mentions.
Well, that is a shorter list than usual.
Yeah, it's a shorter list than usual.
All right, well, moving on to mine. First up is a band called The Scalar Process. They released an album called Agonomysticism. This is progressive/technical death metal from France. Their 2nd full-length album since 2021 on Transcending Obscurity, so you know they're good. I really like this. The only thing that I can say that's bad about it is that the vocal delivery is very one note all the way through the album, but there is some really interesting compositions all the way through this. Because it is progressive technical death metal, it does get a little bit lost sometimes. So, I mean, if you get bored with like atmospheric black metal or progressive metal in general, you may not like this as much, but for me, I really enjoyed it. It just wasn't strong enough to be a pick, but they're right there.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is the band Crocell, Crocell. They released an album called Swarm of Insects. This is melodic black and death metal from Denmark, their 7th full-length album since 2007 on Emancipation Productions, and probably their strongest album so far. I've been familiar with Crocell for a while. This is really good. It's just a little bit bloated. So, I mean, if they could tighten up their songwriting just a little bit more, they're definitely going to be pick-worthy. They're real close. Next is the band Malebeste, and that's Maladie. They released an album called The Dance of Tragedies. This is progressive avant-garde black metal, their 8th full-length album since 2009 on Apostasy Records. I've been a fan of these guys since 2021 when they released the album called The Sick is Dead, Long Live the Sick. So probably about 5 years now. I really enjoy this avant-garde style of black metal. It's wandering, but in a good way, in my mind. There's lots of jazzy parts. There's a lot of really interesting things they do in all the songs. There's some clean singing, but it's not that much, and it's within my tolerance range. Honestly, if the songs weren't all 8 to 11 minutes long, this might have been a pick for me, but it's really hard to pick something when it's that long for a show like this. Christian, how did you feel about this band and this album?
It was right on the edge as well, but yeah, the meandering part of some of these songs kind of got to me after a while. And it's just, this here's one of those albums that if you're not super feeling it, it's exhausting.
That's fair.
It can be exhausting to listen to. But if you're in the mood for it, like if you're active listening, you're definitely going to hear some stuff on multiple listens.
Yeah, I think when we first talked about it, I compared it to the Tomarum album that came out last year.
Yeah, that took a little bit.
It's just an incredibly dense album. Like there's so much going on that it's hard to even capture it all on 5 listens. You're probably going to have to spend 50 to 100 listens on this thing to really appreciate it the way it's meant to be appreciated. And it's hard to devote that much time to an album like this, but I'm certainly going to continue giving this some time throughout the rest of the year because I like it that much. Like I said, it's so close to being a pick for me, and there's so much I love about this. So if you like experimental avant-garde black metal, I highly endorse Malebeste. It's very good.
Yeah.
Next is the band Hecate Enthroned. They released an album called The Corpse of a Titan, A Lament Long Buried. What a title.
Oh, shit.
Symphonic and melodic black metal from the UK, their 7th full-length album since 1995 on M Theory Audio. There was a lot about this I really loved, too. It's like 85% fantastic and 15% bloated. If they could just trim that bloat a little bit, they would have been right there for a pick, but I liked most of it.
I've seen quite a few people talking about this one.
It's really in the beginning. It's like there's those long instrumental passages that, I don't know, instrumentals for me, it's hard because sometimes they're great and they add something to it, but a lot of the time, most of the time, I think they detract from the album. And in this case, I feel like they did, personally.
Yeah. I would like to see bands not do that, especially if you're putting an instrumental in the middle. You just lose all sorts of momentum.
I mean, where are you going to put it, though? This is the intros episode. We don't want it at the beginning. It doesn't make sense at the end.
Put it at the end. That way I can just stop.
There's nothing wrong with instrumental tracks. It's just make them short. Make them 45 seconds or even a minute. But
See, I've always looked at instrumental tracks as it wasn't good enough for you to make a song out of it. So
that's true to some extent, but there are albums like Dodgerit's last one that had instrumentals where it lets you breathe. Like it gets so intense in the song beforehand, and then it's like, okay, here's 45 seconds of something really pretty and flowery to let you breathe, and then we're going to dive right back into the aggression. So there are ways you can construct an album to use it effectively. I mean, you liked Black Braid's last album, and it was
I was just going to say, I loved Black Braid's album. And that had a bunch of shit on it. So I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth.
Right. I mean, well, it's hard to talk about because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and it's a risky thing to do. So that I don't know. We're kind of getting off topic, but that's my take on the instrumentals. Next is the band Graveir, and that's Graveir. They released an album called The Festering Triad. This is black metal from Australia, the 3rd full length since 2014 on Apocalyptic Witchcraft Recordings. This is extremely vicious black metal. I don't know what it is in Australia, but every time they put out a black or death metal album, it's like 10 times more vicious than what you hear from other places. So I liked this. I mean, aggression is the name of the game, and it works here. Next is Beyond Salvation, the album The Final Nail. This is thrash/hardcore/melodeath from the UK. Their debut album since 2013. These guys are unsigned. I really liked this. I'm not usually that drawn to the hardcore element, but every once in a while it hits me just right. And with this one, that mixture of thrash and melodeath and hardcore hit right. I really enjoyed this album. I listened to it 5 times. There's some incredibly hooky riffs, lots of great headbanging moments. It does get a little bit samey towards the end, which is why it ended up as an honorable mention. But in general, I would recommend checking this out because for a debut, it's pretty impressive.
And that sameness, that's a problem that hardcore has all on its own. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to make hardcore feel different.
It's true. I mean, it's mostly just yelling.
Yeah. They're definitely upset about shit.
Yep. Next is the band Deus Sabaoth. Sabbath. I don't know. It's Sabaoth. Distortion of Lies, black metal from the Ukraine. Their second LP since 2023 on Paragon Records. This was really good. It's got some great melodies. It's got some really great songwriting. It is bloated in places, and there are a couple of songs that I didn't love, but it's 75-80% good. For a debut, these guys can only get better.
Yeah, if this wasn't going to be an honorable mention for you, it would have been one for me, because I actually really dug this one.
I liked it a lot. Yeah. And then finally, the band Surrogate, Consumed by the Wrath of Time is the album name. This is death/thrash metal from Estonia. Their debut album since 1999, and these guys are unsigned. So they've been working on this for 26 years. There is some killer fucking riffs on this album. It was almost a pick for me. I was telling Christian it was in contention until like the very last minute. It's imperfect. The production especially is imperfect. It sounds very thin in places, which you get in black metal a lot, but not in death or thrash. So I think that really was detrimental to it. If they'd had a better producer, it would have been a much stronger album. But the songwriting is killer on this. And if you're looking for something to headbang to, you have my full stamp of approval.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for our honorable mentions. Let's move into our topic, which, as you saw from the beginning of the episode, it is intro tracks. Something that is much maligned here on the Harsh Vocals podcast. Christian, you want to start us off and talk about what you don't like or do like about intro tracks?
Well, I've had an issue with intro tracks for a very long time. If you go to metalcrypt.com, you can actually read a article that I wrote complaining about intro tracks. And this here was like early 2000s, somewhere in there. So I have disliked intro tracks for a very long time. And to this very day, if it's an intro track completely on its own, it doesn't have anything to do with the first song that's coming up or whatever, I'm still not going to like it. I just feel as though it's a waste of time, or I don't understand why bands do it. And a lot of bands do this. This is not just a few here or there. This is like 90% of bands have intro tracks.
On at least one album. Some bands do learn and stop doing it. But I mean, I feel like every band has to put out at least one album that has a bad intro track. And you're right. They all do it. And I'm not sure why. And I'm not sure if somebody somewhere down the past of creating music said, well, albums should have like an instrumental lead in, and that just kind of became the gold standard for everybody. But I hate it too. Very rarely does it add anything. I know a long time ago you said on the show that you asked a band about it once, and they said that was their onboarding music for when they're getting their stage ready to go and perform. And from that perspective, it does kind of make sense. And I have an example of that where it's really good, actually, because there is a way to do intro tracks that can be very beneficial to not only the album, but also to something like that. But more often than not, bands don't accomplish that. More often than not, you get 30 seconds to 2 minutes of bad instrumentals that don't lead into the next song and do nothing to help the album. And I hate it. We listen to so much music here, 4,000 albums a year, approximately. That's a lot of time wasted on nothing. So I wish bands would stop.
I've gone so far as to, if that first track, it says it's only a minute and a half long, I don't even bother playing it. I just start with track 2 because I know it's going to be an intro.
My particular brand of OCD won't let me do that. I have to listen to it, and then I get mad about it.
Yeah, I can't do that. But let's just say there are ways that I do appreciate it. One of my favorite songs of all time is Hallowed Be Thy Name. And there's an intro section to that song. And if you're doing it that way, I'm 100% in because it's adding something to the song.
Yeah.
You're leading into it. And you can't tell me for the And Justice for All album, when you heard the opening strains to Blackened and you were at the show, that didn't give you goosebumps. And that's what it should do.
Yeah.
But it's part of the song. And I think that's really important. If you want to do it that way, zero issues. But if you're just going to have like what we had with Drud the other, a couple of months ago or whatever.
That was back in 2025. Like you and I pointed that Drud album all the time. The album's called Scattering the Ashes, and the first track is called Shadow Play. So it's a 7-minute and 21-second long song where the first 2 minutes is literally just the sound of leaves being shuffled around as a guy walks through the forest. And then instrumental parts come in behind the leaves shuffling around as the guy walks through the forest. And it's 7 minutes of that. Like,
yeah,
completely unnecessary. It's a cool idea if you're doing like just an atmospheric instrumental album, walking through the woods, sure. But if you're presenting yourself as a black metal album, like, it's too much. It doesn't do anything to enhance your album. I have other examples too. Like, funny enough, Behemoth's song Intro off their album Grom, it's a minute and 35 seconds of quiet, slow, repetitive drums with horns. And it serves no purpose. Like, it's literally just boom, boom, boom with horns in the background. And then it fades out. And then the next song happens and they're not connected in any way. It does nothing. It does nothing. Morbid Angel, Omnipotens off of Illid Divinum Insanus. It's 2 minutes and 38 seconds of the exact same thing. It's boom, boom, boom with drums and a guy going, oh, wah, oh, wah. Fucking 2 minutes and 40 seconds of that. It does nothing at all. And then the next song happens and there's no connective tissue. It's just, what is the point? And I get that those were both written back in the 90s when there was no blueprint for like what a good album really could be. Bands were figuring it out and being the innovators, so they were trying new things, but it's too much. Another good example of a bad intro is Mortician's song Stab off of Chainsaw Dismemberment. The song's 3 minutes and 53 seconds long, but almost 2 minutes of it is horror movie samples in the beginning. And like, I don't really mind Children of Bodom when they're like 30 seconds of American Psycho before they blow into track 4. But when you put it at the beginning of the album and it's 2 minutes of movie horror stuff, what does that do? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's completely pointless.
Nothing at all. Yeah, I don't get it either. But there are some people that like Iron Maiden and Metallica, I think the undisputed champion of this, though, is got to be Ronnie James Dio. He knew how to start out songs, Don't Talk to Strangers, like Holy Diver, fucking The Chains Are On, Hungry for Heaven. It's like every other song that he did, he had like a little bit of a intro to it, but it always worked. There isn't a
most of those are short intros though. Like all those songs are 20 seconds, 30 seconds of like an instrumental build up, and they all lead into
that's all
it.
You need.
That's the important part. Is like it has to build to something. My perfect example, my favorite intro to any album ever is Allegion's Proponent for Sentience, because it captures what you were talking about before with the concert setup, while also being an intro track that's part of the second part of the song. and it builds from the very beginning. It is 6 minutes and 23 seconds long, the song, and the first 2 minutes and 2 seconds of it is intro. It starts out small and it gets grander and more big as it goes along. There's new elements that get added. It's very exciting as you're hearing it because the sound just keeps growing and building. And then when it gets to the part where the actual song starts, it explodes. That's a perfect example of what an intro track should be. And that's 2 minutes. That's actually a fairly long period of time. But when I went and saw them in concert during that tour, they used that as their intro music. And 2 minutes while they're getting on stage and getting set up, I mean, you get chills because you've heard that. You know exactly what's coming. You know that you're building up to that big explosion where they first appear on stage, and it fits and it works perfectly. I think Greg Burgess is like one of the best guitarists out there today. He's fantastic, and the way he composes music is fantastic. But far too many bands are just like, let's do some random bullshit for 2 minutes, and hopefully nobody will complain about it.
Well, it seems more and more that people just skip it. And then what's the point? Yeah, I'm of the opinion that, the plays that you get on Spotify, the only reason that the intros get so many plays is just because it happens to be the very first thing. I wish there were numbers on how often that first track is skipped.
Well, they
have to be able to tell.
They show numbers for how many plays songs have gotten when they're beyond a certain threshold. I don't know what the exact cutoff is when they start appearing, but you can kind of see, like, if you go back and look at albums like that, how much less the intro tracks get played.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because they don't add any value, or rarely do they add value. I mean, when it's a good intro track, I always take note of it. I'm always like, wow, these guys have figured it out. But far more often, it's a bad intro track. And when I'm scoring these albums, when I'm figuring out what I'm going to review or talk about on the podcast, more often than not, an intro is going to be detrimental.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I get that you have to start your album somehow. Every band does. But 20 seconds of building really is all you need.
And again, that Dread album, come on, man.
I mean, that's the most egregious example I have. I just don't understand why that song even exists. It does nothing.
I mean, if I ever see him in concert, I'm going to ask that question.
I would too.
Why? Why, man? Why?
He just felt like walking in the forest that day. Took his recorder with him.
I guess so. It was so bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've rallied against intros long enough, I guess. I'd like to hear everybody else's thoughts, though, too. If you think we're wrong, or if you have other intros that are good examples or bad examples you want to talk about, let us know. We're happy to discuss them, because there's plenty of bad ones out there. But let's move into pickups. Have you picked up anything cool recently, Christian?
I did. At my local record store, I went through all of their new vinyl that they got in from people selling stuff, and I was able to find Atrophy's very first album, Violent by Nature.
Nice.
So pick that up. 2 albums from Blood Red Throne, Fit to Kill and Imperial Congregation. I dig both of those. And then this really good thrash album from a band called Game Over called For Humanity. I just saw the album cover, and you know how sometimes you can tell just by looking at a logo what kind of music it's going to be, and it just screamed thrash. I just brought it up on my phone really quick and listened to it in the store right then, and I was like, oh shit, this is good. And so made the purchase.
Nice.
And that's all I got. 4 of them for this go around. We're having a lot of trouble getting stuff from Europe, and that's becoming...
Orders getting canceled on Bandcamp, but that did happen to me too. I don't think I told you yet, but the one that I ordered got canceled. The Inherits the Void album, we were talking about trying to order that through their Bandcamp. $115 for shipping from France.
Yeah.
Just completely insane.
I can't do that. I mean, I love the album, but yeah, I can't do that.
You got to find a U.S. distributor. There's literally no other way to get it, or buy it on Discogs or something, because it's just... I'm ready for all of this nonsense with tariffs to end.
Yeah, it's completely cost prohibitive, and there's really no reason for it 100% no reason for it.
No.
There's no reason for it.
It's not even, I mean, the tariffs aren't even supposed to affect media, but
Yeah.
they have, absolutely. I can't buy
Yeah.
anything from any of the overseas places without spending a fortune. So I do not have any pickups for this episode for that reason. Everything I wanted to
don't
buy was
blame
too
you.
expensive.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into our extreme submission for the episode. And this one comes from a band called Dysthen or Dysthen. I'm not sure. It's Dysthen. They released their debut EP, which is their same title, Dysthen or Dysthen. This is black metal from Stockholm, Sweden. And I'm going to read you the snippet that they have in their promotional materials. From the frostbitten concrete of Stockholm, Sweden, emerges Dysthen, a new voice in the void, a raw, shadow-draped vessel channeling the anguished duality of existence, beauty and decay, nature and numbness, gloom and the slow disintegration of the self. Dysthen carves its path far from the cliches in favor of emotional truth, natural isolation, and the dissonant silence. Very poetic.
Yeah, I could see that.
I really liked what I've heard of this. It's very frosty, dissonant sounding black metal. There's some melody, but it's not at the forefront. And it's only a 4-track EP, but every single song was great. Did you listen to the full EP or just the one song? Christian?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. And the only thing whatsoever that I disliked about it was the production. And that was going to be a hard sell for me to begin with. Because, I mean, the vocals almost sound buried.
Yeah.
You know, like you can barely make them out.
They are further back.
Better production.
It's not even that they sound hollow or thin or anything. They're pushed to the back with the music. So they're all kind of at the same level. But there's enough variety, and with the dissonant kind of wall of sound that they build in some of the songs, it didn't really bother me. I actually kind of liked the vocals like that, which is not usually the case. But I can see where, for you, that would have been less appealing.
But the music itself, there's some really good ideas there. I think with better production, I would have definitely been 100% in on it, just like you are.
Cool. Well, I liked it a lot. Hopefully our listeners will check it out and support these guys. Their EP did just come out. Again, it's just called Dysthen, so go check them out. The track that I chose to play for the episode is called Lotus, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I do want to remind everybody, follow us on all of our social media. You can find us everywhere at Harsh Vocal Site. And again, if you want to reach out and talk about intro tracks or anything else, we're pretty accessible. So feel free to reach out through the website or any of the social media accounts. We have a lot of listeners who do talk to us regularly, so we're always open to it.
Yep.
And anyways, let's go ahead and play the track again. Dysthen off of their EP Dysthen, and the track is called Lotus. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you back in a couple weeks.
See ya.